Hi everyone, my name is Kat Kakavas and I'm really excited to be here today at the Lindisfarne Yoga Studio. We've decided to put this little video together for you so that you too can practice yoga in the comfort of your own home or maybe in your backyard. Yoga is a really healthy exercise for your body but also for your mind too. And we're going to be using our breath to help us get the most out of all of the different stretches. Don't worry, I'll be giving you clues as to when to breathe in through your nose and when to breathe out. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll feel that you've ironed out all the lumps and bumps and tension in your body, and also that your mind is calm and focused and clear as well. And it's up to you. Maybe you want to start your day with a yoga session. Maybe you want to have a little break partway through your day. If you need a little bit of space away from somebody or maybe some of your schoolwork, or maybe this might be a really nice thing to do just before you go to bed. Whenever you choose to do this yoga sequence, make sure you enjoy it. All right, here we go. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position. So it might be that you're sitting with crossed legs like I am right now, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to sit with your legs out straight or your knees bent up. So wherever you are, we're going to start by taking our right hand up and over until it reaches our left ear. We're going to breathe in here, and as you exhale, you're going to draw that right ear towards your shoulder. Now you can see my left hand here, it's stretching out towards my mat or the earth, and that can just help to get even more of a stretch through the left side of your neck there. You can use your hand to help your head to come back up to the center before you switch hands. So this time your left hand comes and finds your right ear. You breathe in at the top, and as you breathe out, you bring your left ear towards your shoulder. Again, find that extra stretch with your right fingertips finding the ground. Now, if you've been sitting for a really long time, this is a nice way to stretch out the sides of your neck. Again, use your hand to help your head come back to the middle, and then take your two hands and make like a little bowl and place them at the back of your head. Then take a breath in here, and as you breathe out, bring your chin down towards your chest. Now, you should feel a nice stretch just in the back of your neck there. And breathe in as you lift yourself back up. And next time we're going to drop our head into our hands. So let gravity do the work for you. Breathe in at the top here and breathe out as you just let your head fall into your hands. Enjoy the feeling now of the stretch up the front of your throat. And then breathe in as you come back to the top. Now take your right hand and find your left knee. And take your other hand so it's placed behind your back. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, twist around to the left. You can look over that left shoulder. You really should be working your belly button towards your spine here. So trying to draw that belly button right in close. Every time you take a breath, you might be able to squeeze and stretch a little bit further. And breathe out to unravel back to the front. Now take your left hand and find your right knee. Take the other hand and find a spot behind your back. Breathe in to grow tall here, and breathe out as you twist through your spine. Again, every time you inhale or breathe in, maybe you could grow a little bit taller. And when you exhale, can you go a little bit further? You can even turn your head around to look over your left shoulder, and then you've rinsed out your spine all the way from the neck down to your bottom. And breathe breathe out to come back to the center. Now take 2 hands and find the earth. And inhale at the top here, grow tall. And exhale as you walk those fingers forward. And just go as far as your body will let you go. This is a really good stretch for in our hip area. So again, if we're sitting for long periods of time, this is an area that can become really tight. Every time you breathe in, grow a little bit through your spine. And every time you breathe out, can you go a little bit closer to the ground? One more breath here. See how far can you walk those fingertips before you creep them back towards your body. Awesome, guys. So now we're going to turn onto our hands and knees. So this is called a tabletop position, and there's a few quick checks you can do once you get into the tabletop position. So we want to make sure that our wrist is under our shoulder. And when we look at our wrist, there should be a straight line, and that straight line should be about the same as the top of our mat or towel. And our fingers should be nice and spread. Then we can check out our knees, and our knees should be positioned under our hips, directly under. So check that they are, and they should be about as wide apart as our hips as well. Then what I want you to do is have a quick look through your knees and check if you can see your feet. If you can see your feet because they're too close together or too far apart, move them so they're hiding. Once you've done all those little checks, then you're in a really nice tabletop position. So we're going to breathe out together here. And when you breathe in, you're going to roll your shoulders back, look up towards the sky, curve up your tailbone up as well. This is called cow position. And when you exhale or breathe out, you're going to go in the opposite direction. So you're going to lift your belly button towards your spine again. And this is called a cat position. So imagine an angry cat with its back arched. Breathe in and come back into the cow shape. And breathe out as you come in on yourself into your cat shape. One more like that, breathing in and breathe out to find the cat. Now come back to that tabletop. A little challenge for you. I want you to take your right hand out in front and your left leg out behind you. So imagine there's a laser beam pointing out through your fingers and also out the back through your toes. So this one is pretty strong as it is, and you've got to really work through your tummy muscles to stay stable. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bring your elbow towards your knee. Curl up into a ball. And then breathe in and stretch out again, like you're trying to touch the walls. Breathe out to curl in. And breathe in as you get longer and stretch out your arm and leg. Now take those right fingers back to the ground. Take your left foot so it lands behind you and lift through your left arms until it reaches the sky. So you should feel a really nice stretch right through your chest. Breathe out to bring your hand back to the ground and bring your left knee to join it. I'm going to do it on the other side now. So breathe in as you stretch, this time your left hand forward and your right leg behind you. Breathe out as you bring your knee towards your elbow. Breathe in as you lift and stretch. These are called tiger curls. Breathe out as you curl into a ball. And last one, breathe in as you stretch as far as you can. Then take your left fingers to the ground, your right foot behind you, and breathe in as you lift your wing, your right wing, up to the sky. Again, enjoy the open twist, stretching out through your shoulders before you breathe out and bring your hand and your knee back to the ground. From here, just drop your bottom down towards your heels into child's pose. This is a really important shape to remember. Number one, because it's a resting pose, so you can come here at any time that you need. If there's a shape that's a little bit challenging and you just want to have a break or have a pause, you can always come back to child's pose. Next time you take a breath in, come back into that tabletop. And instead of staying here, we're going to flip on our toes and we're going to breathe out as we lift our hips towards the sky. So we've come into a downward facing dog shape. And if it's the first time you've ever seen this shape, it looks a little bit like a triangle. So our heels should be working their way towards the earth. It doesn't matter if you can't touch the ground. You can see my heels don't quite touch the ground, but they should be, and you should imagine that they can touch the ground. Our knees should be switched on. What do I mean by that? Lift them up and squeeze your muscles in your thighs as well, the tops of your legs. Your hips should be facing up towards the sky and your shoulders away from your ears and your hands joined strongly on the ground. And this is pretty strong. We've been here for a few breaths here now. Tiptoe your feet towards your hands and just hang out. So this one is called a rag doll. So if you want, you can take your hands and find your opposite elbows and just fold in half. Just enjoy gravity doing the work for you. It doesn't matter how far you go. I've got a little bend in my knees, so definitely have a bend in your knees. You're still warming your body up. You can just sway from side to side. And on the next time you take a breath in, you can lift yourself up with each vertebrae stacking on top of the other one until you come to a standing shape. This standing shape is called mountain pose. So imagine that you are as strong and stable as the tallest mountain that you've seen. So in our mountain pose, you might feel comfortable having your feet joined together, or maybe your big toes joined together. I like to have my feet just a little bit apart. Okay, so all my toes are connecting to the ground. Again, my knees are lifting up. My thigh muscles are squeezing towards the back of my legs. My bottom isn't sticking out, it's tucked under. My shoulders are away from my ears. And have a smile on your face too, that always helps. We're going to do a series of movements now called sun salutations. So watch, listen. We're going to do some different shapes and each one we use a different breath. So exhale or breathe out as we stand here. And on your next inhalation or breath in, lift your hands up towards the sky. Maybe your fingertips will kiss at the top. And when you breathe out, fold in half. Now, if you've got blocks, this can be a really good time to use them. And remember, I said blocks or boxes, okay? Because that can help if you don't have a lot of stretch in the back of your legs, this can help to bring the earth or the ground up to your hands. So you can use your blocks or boxes on a really high level. You can use them on a medium level, or you can use them on a low level. Whichever way you do it, they're just there to help you. You can also bend in your knees as much as you need to. Okay, so we've come into a forward fold here. Next time you take a breath in, I want you to look up halfway. Imagine like the swimmers do when they're on the starting blocks. And the next time you breathe out, take 2 hands to the ground and step 1 foot back, followed by the other foot. Now this is called a plank pose, and it's a pretty strong shape. If you want an option, and options are always encouraged, bring your knees down to the earth. This is perfect as well. But if you are feeling strong and you can keep a nice line between the back of your heels and the top of your head, come up onto your toes and puff up through the back of your heart. So right at the top of your spine, as you breathe in, watch my spine create a little bubble there. And as you breathe out, we're going to come to the earth. So bending your elbows so they're shaving the sides of your ribs, chopping the sides of your ribs off. So what I don't want to see is you collapsing and your elbows coming out to the side. Once you're on the ground, breathing out, and when you breathe in, roll your shoulders back and coming into a back bend. This one's called Cobra Pose. So imagine, look like a big snake here. Shoulders should be away from your ears. All your toes glued to the ground. And breathe out to come into that downward facing dog shape. The next time you breathe in, walk your toes towards your hands and breathe out to fold over your body again, using those blocks if you need. Breathe in to lift up to the sky, drawing a big circle around your body. And breathe out as you bring your hands from the sky back down to the ground. So that was once. And we talked through a lot of those shapes. This time I'm just going to do it without as much talking. So breathing out as you take your hands to your side. Breathe in as you lift your hands up towards the sky. And breathe out as you fold over yourself. Breathe in to look up like you're on the swimming blocks. And breathe out to step 1 foot and the other foot into your plank pose. Breathe in here, lift up through the back of your heart. And breathe out as you come down, down, down to the earth. Breathe in into your back bend. And breathe out into downward facing dog. Breathe in, you can walk, or maybe you want to try a little jump towards your hands. Breathe out as you fold into yourself. Breathe in to stretch and grow right up to the top. And breathe out. You made it. Well done. So that was our sun salutation A, the first one. We're going to keep moving through some more shapes to really stretch and lengthen out through some really important muscles, particularly if we're sitting down a lot doing study. So this time, I'll start by facing you. We're going to breathe in again until your fingertips reach just above your head. And breathe out as you fold over yourself. Again, breathe in like you're about to start your swimming race. Breathe out into plank pose. And a breath in here as you grow. Breathe out to come down to the earth. Breathe in as you come into your back bend. Maybe you can stretch your elbows a little bit higher. And breathe out to come into downward facing dog. Bring your toes together. And next time you breathe in, you're going to release your right foot from the ground up towards the sky. This is called three-legged dog. And breathe out as you bring your right knee towards your nose and then step that foot between your hands. And you might need to help it. I certainly do. Then turn your back foot so that it finds the ground. Now, if I was to draw an imaginary line between my 2 feet, this heel should chop my back foot in half. So breathe out as you stand here, bending through that right leg, and breathe in like a windmill. Your arms come up and over. So this is called Warrior 2. So it's a big, strong lunge in that front leg, shoulders down, 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 away from your ears. Again, imagine those laser beams are coming out of each of your fingers. Flip your front palm over. Breathe in here. And as you breathe out, can you paint a rainbow with your fingertips and come into what we call reverse warrior? So feeling that beautiful stretch up the side of your body. Breathe in as you take your arms again in another rainbow back to that warrior. And this time, keep stretching, stretching, stretching through your right fingertips until you fall into a side angle shape. So again, if you've got your block handy, maybe you can put your block under your hand, trying to have a straight line through your fingers at the top to the fingers at the bottom. And from here, draw a circle with that top hand until it finds the earth. Move the block out of the way. Drop your back knee, leaving your left hand on the ground. Open up through your right arm. Again, feel that beautiful twist. Breathe out to bring your hand back to the earth. Now we're going to become ninjas. Lifting up through your back leg, and I want you to crisscross your hands all the way until you're bending in your left leg and you're stretching through your right leg. So it doesn't matter if your hands are on the ground, or again, maybe you can find a block. And the main thing to think about here is that your left arm can help your left leg to be in the right position. So if you look at your left knee, make sure it's going out over your toes, not coming in, not falling out. So use that left hand to help it like an anchor. And then we're going to ninja our way back to the other side of our mat. So crisscross your hands. We're coming into what's called a lizard lunge. So your right foot is going to walk towards the edge of your mat or your towel. Your back knee is going to come down to the ground. And then you're going to, again, take your hands either to your mat or the ground, or maybe even to a block. And from here, you're going to bend your elbows and just get more deep into that lunge shape. So you really should be feeling that on the right side of your hips, hopefully. And this is such a good place to stretch out, and we hardly get the chance to do it. But it gets really tight in here, particularly when we're sitting for long periods of time. Again, you can use your breath to help you here, so you can breathe in. And when you breathe out, maybe, just maybe, you can go a little bit deeper. And next time you breathe in, come back up to the top. Walk your right foot back towards the middle. Okay, now it's time for a challenge. You're going to turn your toes over on your back foot. And without thinking about it too much, do you think you can lift your right foot up towards your bottom, and then we're going to shoot it up to the sky, back into that three-legged dog shape. So breathe out together here. Breathe in and lift and shoot it up into three-legged dog. And then walk it down to the ground. You can drop your knees to the earth here and come into that beautiful child's pose shape. So bring your forehead, if you can, to the ground and just take a few moments here to pause, to reset, to feel all the different sensations in your body right now. And then lifting up as you breathe in and flipping on your toes again into downward facing dog. This time we're going to lift our left toes towards the sky as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bend your left knee towards your nose and help that foot to come between your hands. Turn your back foot around. Remember, invisible line will slice your back foot in half. And breathe in as you paint a rainbow, this time with your right fingers. You're coming into warrior two. You might like to breathe in here. And when you breathe out, see, can you bend just a little bit deeper? So good. Breathe in to flip your palm over and breathe out to bend backwards into a reverse warrior. As you breathe in, coming back up through your warrior, and keep going. How far can you stretch that hand towards the wall before you fall into a side angle? So again, you might have your hand on a block or a box here, but the key is to have a straight line from your fingers through your shoulders down to your bottom hand. Next time you breathe out, dropping your back knee, taking your right hands to the ground and breathe in as you stretch up towards the sky. Feel that beautiful twist, again opening up through your shoulders. When you breathe out, take your hand back to the earth. Lift up through your back leg, and we're about to become ninjas again, this time towards our right foot. So crisscross your hands until you find your right foot. Use that right arm to encourage your right knee to be in the right place and come into a beautiful lunge here. Next time you breathe out, walk your hands back towards your other foot, and this time your left foot goes out towards the side. Your right knee comes down to the mat. You breathe in at the top here. How tall can you imagine that you are before you become a lizard? And you fold into that lunge. Again, every time you breathe in, maybe you can imagine you're a bit longer. And every time you breathe out, can you get a little bit further into that stretch? Next time you breathe in, coming back up to the top. Taking that left foot now in between your hands. 2 hands on either side of your foot. Turn over your back toes. Don't think about it too much. We're going to lift that foot towards our bottom and shoot it up towards the sky. When you breathe out next, drip, 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 drip it back towards the earth. And as you breathe out, bring your knees to the ground and come again into your child's pose. So now you've worked really hard, both through the right side of your body and the left side of your body. So take a few breaths here to just relax and enjoy. Next time you breathe in, coming back up into your tabletop, but only quickly because we're actually going to turn around now and we're going to come down onto our backs. So roll your spine down to the earth. Have your feet just far enough away from your bottom that you should be able to, there's my ankle, tickle the bottom of your ankles. If you look at your knees, they should be making a nice line with your hips, so they shouldn't be collapsing in or falling out. A nice line with your hips. Have your two hands flat to the earth here, and your spine should be really pressed into the ground. Breathe out here. We're going to come into a bridge pose, which means we're going to lift our hips up towards the sky in one movement. So like our spine didn't have all the different vertebrae in it, we're going to breathe out here and breathe in to lift up off the ground. So this is called the bridge shape. So when you come into the bridge shape, make sure your shoulders, your elbows and your hands are glued to the ground. Make sure those hips are lifting up towards the sky. Check your knees, are they still in line with your hips? Take one more breath here and breathe out as you come down to the ground again. So when you come back down, you can go slowly, like a sleepy snake. Breathe out here. We're going to do that one more time, and I'll give you another option to make it a little bit trickier if you want. So breathe out here and breathe in to lift yourself off the ground. So this might be strong enough for you, and you can just stop here. If you want to try and get a little bit higher, you can take your two hands, join them together under your body, and you can then come up a little bit higher onto your shoulders. Hopefully you can see that I came higher off the ground, and I still have to work to keep my hips going up, up, up towards the sky. Take one more breath in wherever you are. And when you breathe out, coming down, vertebrae, 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 until you're back on the earth. Take your two knees and give them a big cuddle, and you can turn them around to the right hand side. You can turn them around to the left hand side, and that helps you just to give a little massage to the bottom of your back. And take another squeeze here, maybe lift your nose towards your knees, and then we're going to drop those feet. We're actually going to come into a seated shape. So make your way back up, and if you have a strap or a scarf or a belt handy, you can grab that now. So we are going to come into a forward fold position. So again, this one's really good to stretch out through our hips. So what I want you to do here is breathe in when you're sitting up tall. So imagine, again, an invisible line is crawling up through the top of your head and connecting you to the ceiling. And when you breathe out, you're going to fold over your legs. Now, it doesn't matter how far you go. What you can do is use your strap or scarf to help you. So you can place it around your feet. And every time you breathe in, grow a little bit taller through your spine. And every time you breathe out, you can bring yourself a little bit closer towards your legs. Breathe in here, grow longer, and breathe out to fold in half. So the aim here is not to get your nose to your knees if you've got a rounded back like this. The aim is to try and keep your back as straight as possible and actually to bring your tummy and your chest towards your legs. That's your aim. And you should be bringing your toes back towards your nose too. So like I said, you should be getting a stretch through your hips, but you could probably also feel a big stretch right up the back of your legs as well. We're going to have a few more breaths here. Every time, see if you can just go a little bit further. And the next time you breathe in, you can let the strap go, or your scarf go, or your belt go. And you can roll your spine back up until you're sitting. Okay, last one. Bringing your right foot in so it's bending and the foot is coming in towards your left thigh. Your left thigh and leg should be facing up towards the ceiling. So not turning out and not rolling in, but facing up. And you're going to breathe in here. And as you breathe out, you're just going to fold over your left leg there. So feel that beautiful stretch right through the side of your body. Again, every time you breathe in, grow a little bit, and breathe out, can you fall a little bit closer to the ground? Next time you breathe in, paint that rainbow again with your fingertips before you change legs. So, right leg stretches, left leg comes and finds a spot inside your thigh. Again, point the toes up to the sky, your knee up to the sky, the top of your leg up to the sky. You can use your right hand just behind you if you like, before you breathe in, and fold yourself over your leg. So from here, you should really be looking up and under your arm. And again, feeling that stretch right through the side of your body. Next time you breathe in, windmill your arm across the sky, and you can bring your feet in to cross your legs. You've made it, guys. We've stretched from top to bottom of our body, and now we're going to spend a few minutes doing some yoga breathing. So if you have a pillow handy, it could just be the pillow off your bed, or maybe one off the couch, okay? If it's nearby, you can grab it now and you can come to sit on it. And just by coming to sit on something that's a little bit higher, it just helps us to have a straight spine. So wherever you are, make sure that you're sitting comfortably. I've got my legs crossed, but you don't need to have your legs crossed. Again, you could have them out in front, you could have your knees bent, however you feel. You could be kneeling on your legs if you prefer. But what we're going to do now is we're going to just spend a few minutes focusing on our breath. So first, what I'd really like you to do is start by just noticing your breath. Notice as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Just find the natural rhythm of your breath. You might like to lower your eyes towards the ground, or you might even like to close your eyes for this part. try and drop your shoulders away from your ears and just relax. We're going to practice a special type of breathing called a 3-part breath. The first part of the 3-part breath sees us breathing into our belly. So I'd love you to take your 2 hands and place them over your tummy there. And when you breathe in through your nose, see if you can just get the air to puff up under your hands. So your belly should be expanding. And when you breathe out, also through your nose, your belly should be falling back towards your spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next, take your hands and find the sides of your ribs. So our next few breaths, we're just going to concentrate on the breath filling up our ribs, not our belly anymore. So when we breathe in, what should happen is our hands should come up and out. And when we breathe out, our hands come back towards each other. Breathe in. We expand through the ribs and breathe out. The ribs fall back in towards your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, take your 2 hands until they find the bony part just under your throat. This is called your collarbones here. So place your fingertips on your collarbones, on these bones. And this time when you breathe in, the air is just going to sip in through your nose until it reaches there, and then we're going to send it back out again. So it's not going to come as deep this time into our ribs or our belly. So let's try that. So we're just going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, feel your collarbones lift, and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And don't worry if you can't get it the first time. You can keep practicing. So what we've done now is we've found breath in our belly, we've found breath in our ribs, and we've found breath right up in our throat, and we're going to join the 3 together. So take one hand, any hand to your belly, and one hand you can place up near your throat. Next time you breathe in, the breath is going to start at your belly, travel up through your ribs until it reaches your throat, and then it's going to fall back out of your body again from your throat to your ribs to your belly. Let's give it a try. Let's breathe out all together. Breathe in, belly, ribs, throat, and breathe out, throat, ribs, belly. Breathe in, belly, ribs, throat, and breathe out, throat, ribs, belly. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You might like to imagine that there's a big circle being drawn on the inside of your body by your breath as it travels from your belly, through your ribs, up to your throat, and back out again. Throat, ribs, belly. Just take a few more breaths here. Finally, take your hand away your hands away from your body and allow your breath to come back to its natural or normal rhythm. And just take a little moment here to notice or to think about how you feel. How you feel after just spending a few minutes concentrating on your breath. Just stopping, slowing, spending some time simply concentrating on our breath can help us with our concentration, with our focus. It can help to make us feel calm. It can help to clear our mind. So that in itself, just a few minutes of breathing is a little trick that you might be able to use at any time you need. So we've worked through moving our body. We've worked through using our breath. And the last part of our yoga session is a Shavasana. So for this, you might even like to find your favorite song. You might like to just make sure that you've got something warm if it's starting to feel a bit cool. So you might like to have a blanket or some kind of jumper nearby that you can put on now. But whenever you're ready, make your way onto your back. I'm going to use my little pillow here and come into what's called Shavasana, or a resting pose. So when you've made your way to the ground, you can have your hands out beside your body, your feet so that the toes are turning away from the center of your body, and just allow your body to drop. You might like to close down the eyes and just imagine that the ground, wherever you are, is holding you. Picture all the parts of your body that are connected to the earth right now, and soften each of those even more. Notice your face. Have you got any tension? Are you holding anything in your jaw? If you are, now let it go. If there's any last part of your body that still feels like it's holding on, it's tense, it's tight, take another breath in, and as you breathe out, just relax it. Each time you breathe out, falling deeper and deeper into the ground underneath you. You are welcome to stay for as long as you need. But if you are ready to wake your body up, you can start by wiggling maybe your fingers or your toes just to bring life back into your body again. And whenever you're ready, you can turn your body over until you're lying on your side. And with no rush at all, just whenever you feel, making your way back up until you're sitting again. Find a comfortable seat and take your hands to make a prayer shape in front of your heart. Lift your hands firstly up towards your forehead, in between your eyebrows. May your thoughts be positive. Take your hands now towards your lips. May the words you speak be filled with truth. Take your hands now towards your heart. May you continue through your days with care and compassion. Thank you for joining us in the Lindisfarne Yoga Studio. The light that's glowing inside of me is reaching out and joining and glowing with each and every one of you. Namaste.